Greetings everyone, it's Wednesday evening's weather for Weather Geeks, the Valley's most detailed and geekiest, and many other adjectives to describe this video. Hope you get a kick out of these videos. This is my time to show you all the stuff I can't show you on TV because I don't have enough time, and some of the stuff would go over people's heads. Some people just want to, hey, what's the temperature going to be? Is it going to rain? They don't want any more detail than that. This video is for the people who like to have a little bit more and maybe depend on having a more detailed forecast for their business, for their livelihood. All right, let's start with a little bit of a review of today. It was a seasonable day. It was a nice day today. Got up to 60 at the airport today. That's 2 above the average. Average is still 58 here on the 12th day of April. Our average is rising quickly at this time of the year. We generally gain a degree on those average highs and lows every few days now as we get into mid-spring. All right, nice clear sky this evening. Check out the International Space Station. I posted on this earlier on social media. I talked about it on 21 News at 6, and I'll do a little short video in a little bit as well on this. This is a really good pass. This one's really bright. It's going to be in the sky for 5 minutes, and it's really high up in the air. The way I describe this at 6, when you see a max elevation of 69 degrees, well, 90 degrees is right above our head, so it's not going to be, that high. But if you stick out your arm, generally the size of your fist is about 10 degrees when measuring distance in the sky. So this is about 7 fists up at its peak elevation as the space station flies overhead. This gets underway at 8:58. Look in the northwest sky. It'll travel across the sky and disappear 5 minutes later in the southeast skies. Great pass of the space station this evening, and there's not many great passes coming up, so this is one of the last chances to catch it for a little while. All right, 12-hour radar loop across the country this evening. Severe weather threat for parts of New Mexico, into the panhandle of Texas around El Paso, heading out towards Midland and Odessa. We have a couple of showers up in parts of the Midwest and the Northern Plains. And what else is new? Pretty stormy out in the Pacific Northwest. That's been the case for seemingly forever. Now, that moisture up across the Midwest is going to run into drier and drier air as it tries to push south and east. Now, the dew points up in the Midwest are not exactly through the roof, 40s, but we have dew points mostly in the 30s here locally, and I think this is going to lead to a lot of this precipitation drying up as it tries to come south and east. So a cloudier day tomorrow, but aside from a sprinkle, and I've only got a 10% chance in our hourly forecasts for tomorrow on your Storm Tracker app, don't think there'll be anything falling out of these clouds other than that sprinkle. Now on Friday, I think enough dry air, thanks to the proximity of high pressure, enough dry air will win the battle that the clouds will have a hard time advancing east. I think Friday's probably a sunnier and warmer day than tomorrow. Now, as we head into the weekend, all right, warm fronts overhead on Saturday are pushing through. And that means there can be a shower and a thunderstorm here and there just about any point. We'll probably get into this drier slot Saturday night and Sunday morning. But Saturday during the day, it's going to try to shower or thunderstorm a couple of times. But I don't think it's any sort of a washout. Here's the Easter Sunday forecast. Now, I think the earlier the better if you want to get outdoors on Sunday. If you have an Easter egg hunt or you're heading off to services Sunday morning, it's going to be warm. Sunrise temperatures around 60, afternoon high around 77 on Sunday. Best chance to get wet with showers and storms will be as we get into the afternoon. In fact, here's an hour-by-hour breakdown of the rain chances both days this weekend. I've got about even odds just about all day on Saturday. In fact, I might have to take these odds up to 60 instead of 40. We generally don't do 50% chances of precipitation here because that's just inviting someone to say, oh, it's like flipping a coin, your job is easy. And we don't even bother with that. So we just skip 50 and we go from 40 to 60. I might have to take Saturday's hourly pops up to 60 at some point. The pops, or probability of precipitation, on Sunday, definitely higher in the afternoon. Saturday, it's hard to differentiate between the morning and the afternoon. I do think Easter Sunday, it's a pretty easy call to say that the higher chances for rain will be in the afternoon. Now, what about severe weather? Pardon me, I do think that there is enough instability for some thunder both Saturday and Sunday. Here's a look at the CAPE values off the GFS model on Saturday. When we talk about CAPE, that's CAPE, convective available potential energy. It's just one of the indices we look at to see if the atmosphere is going to be conducive to thunderstorms. Will there be enough rising air? Is there enough moisture? And this is an indice that kind of shows that. And when you get into some of these blues and greens, that's certainly enough for thunder. Not real impressed with the severe weather chances on Saturday and on Sunday. While the instability may be a little lower at times on Sunday, I actually think the severe weather risk is probably a little higher because I think there's going to be a little more wind energy in the atmosphere on Sunday. as compared to Saturday, and that might lead to a couple of gusty storms for your Easter Sunday. So we're going to be updating this forecast, of course, as we get closer. Showed this last night. I'll show it again tonight. Compiled the Youngstown Easter weather stats. Last 5 years, pretty nice Easters. The coolest one was in 2012, 59 degrees. The wettest one over the last 5 years was in 2013, had about a quarter of an inch of rain, but each of the last 3 Easters have been dry. Pretty warm. Last year, 76 degrees. Now, on the extreme end, back in 1976, Easter was pretty late that year on the 18th, 87 degrees. A very early Easter in 1940, that was our coldest high temperature on record since 1930 anyway, with only 20 degrees. Wettest in 1988 and the snowiest early in the morning back in 1994, had about 1.5 inches, 2 inches worth of snow. All right, so the Easter forecast is important to people because a lot of people try to do things outdoors for Easter Sunday. So check out my blog post from this morning on ericwfmj.com for more. I'll, of course, have more updates on TV and online as we get closer to the weekend. When we start thinking about the longer range, I do think next week starts pretty warm and then perhaps cools down a bit at the end of the week and then maybe warms back up after that. Pretty typical spring stuff, I think, as we go into the next couple of weeks here in mid-spring. We're going to see some cooler periods, some warmer periods. Don't see a lot of extremes on either end coming our way probably through the end of April. I'll take a deeper dive into the long range tomorrow night here on the Weather for Weather Geeks. Thanks as always for watching, everyone, and I wish you and yours a happy Wednesday night.